Maya was a quiet girl. She was different from many students at her high school. She didn't speak much in class and often kept to herself. Maya was a black young woman who believed in working hard and staying out of trouble. She came from a small family that had taught her the importance of respect and kindness. Even when things were difficult, Maya tried to stay calm and focused. She was not loud or aggressive, and many people in her school barely noticed her because she did not seek attention. Her school was in a busy city neighborhood. It was a place where many different people came from different backgrounds. Some students were friendly and kind, but others were not. There was a group of students who liked to make fun of others, sometimes in hurtful ways. Maya often felt invisible in the crowd, but she preferred that to being part of the noise and conflict in her classroom. The teacher was strict but fair. The room was filled with desks arranged in rows, and the walls were covered with posters about history and science. The teacher tried to keep the class calm and focused on learning. Most students paid attention, but a few caused trouble now, and then one of those students was Jake. Jake was tall and confident. He had many friends, and he liked to be the center of attention. Jake was known for making jokes, but often those jokes were mean. Sometimes he made fun of people because of how they looked or where they came from. Jake liked to tease and sometimes bully students who seemed different or who did not stand up to him. Jake noticed Maya soon after the school year started, saw that she did not talk much, and did not fight back when he teased other students. To Jake, Maya looked like an easy target. He thought it would be funny to make a joke at her expense. He had done this before with other students, and people laughed. But with Maya, things were different. Maya was used to being quiet. She did not want to make problems or get in trouble. She was careful to avoid drawing attention to herself. Many students passed by without talking to her, and she did not mind. She spent her time reading books and doing her homework. To Maya, school was a place to learn, not to fight or argue. One morning, Maya arrived early to class. She sat near the window, where the sunlight came in softly. She liked to watch the trees outside when she had a free moment. Her books were open on her desk, and she was quietly reading. The classroom was mostly empty at that time, but soon more students arrived. Filling the room with chatter and noise, Jake came in last. He walked confidently to his seat, laughing with his friends. He looked around the room and saw Maya sitting. Quietly, his smile grew wider. He whispered to his friends about his plan to joke with Maya that day. They laughed and nodded, waiting to see what he would do. As the teacher began the lesson, Jake watched Maya carefully. He waited for the right moment. Maya did not notice him. She was focused on the notes the teacher was writing on the board. The classroom was full of noise and movement, but Maya stayed calm. Suddenly, Jake stood up and walked to Maya's desk. The room quieted down for a moment. Everyone watched him with curiosity. Jake leaned over and said something that no one heard. Clearly, Maya looked up, surprised and confused. She did not say anything. Jake smiled and then gently placed his hand on Maya's neck, pretending to choke her as a joke. The other students in the room gasped and laughed nervously. Some did not know if it was serious or just a joke. Maya froze. She felt scared but did not scream or move. The teacher was busy writing on the board and did not notice what was happening. The tension in the room grew. Maya's heart was pounding. She felt the shock of Jake's hand on her neck. It was a moment that no one expected. The class was silent except for the nervous laughter of some students. Maya wanted to say something, but the fear stopped her. She looked at Jake with wide eyes, hoping he would stop. Jake saw the fear in Maya's eyes. At first, he thought it was funny. He thought the joke was working. But then something changed.
Eyes.
Quiet strength was visible.
Eyes.
She did not cry or shout. She looked back at Jake calmly, but with a serious expression. The room felt very different now. The students who were laughing stopped. The teacher finally turned around and saw what was happening. She quickly came over and told Jake to take his hand away from Maya. Jake moved back, still smiling but a little less sure of himself. Maya took a deep breath. She was still quiet, but inside she felt a strong feeling rising. She did not want anyone to think she was weak. She wanted to show that even though she was quiet, she would not be treated badly. After the class ended, Maya packed her books slowly. Some students whispered to each other about what had happened. Jake walked away with his friends, trying to look like nothing was wrong. But the joke had gone too far. Maya knew that this was only the beginning. She understood that standing up in a school like this was not easy. But she also knew that she could not let fear control her life. She was ready to find her voice, even if it was soft and quiet. The story of that day spread through the school. Some students admired Maya's calmness. Others wondered what would happen next. The quiet girl had made a strong mark, and the bully had taken notice. This was a day that changed things for Maya and Jake. It showed that courage comes in many forms, and that respect is something everyone deserves. The classroom was no longer just a place for learning facts. It was a place where a quiet voice began to be heard. After that day in class, things between Maya and Jake changed, but not in the way many people expected. The classroom was filled with whispers and quiet talks. Some students looked at Maya with a new respect, while others wondered what Jake would do next. Maya was still quiet, but inside she felt a mix of emotions. She was scared, angry, and unsure about how things would go. But she also felt a small spark of hope that things could be different. Jake, on the other hand, was angry and confused. He thought his joke would be funny like all the others he had made before, but Maya's calm reaction had stopped him. For the first time, he felt unsure. His friends tried to laugh it off and told him not to worry, but Jake couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. He knew the joke had crossed a line. Deep down, he was also worried about the trouble it might bring. The next day at school, Jake avoided Maya's eyes. He still walked with confidence, but something about his smile looked forced. He didn't want to show fear, but he felt the eyes of other students on him. Some students whispered behind his back, saying that he had gone too far. Even the teachers talked quietly about the incident. Maya tried to act as if everything was normal, but she could not forget what had happened. She thought about how it felt to have someone's hand on her neck, even if it was meant as a joke. It was a feeling she never wanted to experience again. Still, she did not want to be seen as weak or scared. She wanted to keep her head high and move forward. In the days that followed, Maya's friends noticed a change in her. She started to speak up more in class, answering questions and sharing her thoughts. It was not a big change, but it was enough for others to notice. Some students who had ignored her before now smiled and said hello. Maya felt a little more confident, but she knew that Jake was still watching. Jake began to act differently too. He stopped making jokes about other students for a while. His usual teasing was quieter, and he seemed less sure of himself. One afternoon, a few students overheard Jake talking to a teacher about the incident. He said he did not mean to hurt anyone, and that he was sorry if he had made Maya feel bad. The school principal called both Maya and Jake to her office. The principal was a kind woman who wanted to make sure the school was a safe place for all students. She talked to Maya first, asking how she felt and if she wanted help. Maya said she was okay, but wished that no one else would have to go through what she had. Then the principal spoke with Jake. She explained why his joke was wrong and how it had hurt Maya. Jake listened quietly. He did not interrupt or argue. After the meeting, Jake was given some tasks to do. He had to attend meetings with a counselor and write an apology letter to Maya and the school. The principal wanted Jake to understand the impact of his actions and to learn from the experience. Maya was surprised when she received Jake's letter. It was short but sincere. He wrote that he was sorry for what he did and that he wanted to be a better person. Maya felt a mix of emotions reading the letter. She was still hurt, but she also saw a chance for healing. She decided to forgive Jake. Not because she forgot what happened, but because she wanted to move on with peace. The classroom atmosphere slowly began to improve. The teacher talked to the class about respect and kindness. She reminded everyone that words and actions can hurt people, even if they are meant as jokes. Some students who had been quiet before started to join the conversation. They shared stories about times they had felt bullied or left out. Maya found herself becoming a quiet leader. She encouraged other students to speak up when they saw bullying. She helped organize a group that met after school to talk about how to create a better, safer environment. The group included students from many backgrounds, all wanting to support each other. Maya's courage to stand strong inspired others to do the same. Jake also joined the group, at first quietly and with some hesitation. He wanted to show that he was trying to change. Slowly, some students began to trust him again. He learned to listen more and to think before making jokes. It was not easy for Jake to admit his mistakes, but he realized it was the right thing to do. One day, the school held a special event about kindness and respect. Maya was asked to speak. She stood in front of the whole school, nervous but determined. She talked about her experience and what she had learned. Maya said that being quiet did not mean being weak, and that everyone deserved to be treated with kindness. Her words touched many hearts. Some students wiped tears from their eyes. Teachers smiled proudly. Jake listened from the back of the room, feeling grateful for the chance to change and to be part of something better. After the event, Maya and Jake talked quietly, agreed to leave the past behind, and to support each other as classmates. It was a new beginning for both of them. They understood that respect and kindness were stronger than fear or anger. The story of the classroom spread outside the school. Parents, community leaders, and local news heard about how a quiet girl had shown courage and how a bully had changed his ways. It became a message of hope for many. Maya's family was proud of her. They saw how she grew stronger and how she helped others. Maya felt grateful for their support. She knew that standing up was not easy, but it was worth it. Jake's family was also surprised by the change in him. They had worried about his behavior before. Now they saw a different side of him, one that was thoughtful and respectful. Jake felt happier and more peaceful. As the school year went on, Maya and Jake continued to learn and grow. They faced challenges, but they faced them together. The classroom was no longer a place of fear or bullying. It was a place where respect and kindness were the new rules. Maya never forgot the moment when Jake had joked by choking her, but she also never forgot the strength she found inside herself that day. It was a strength that helped her change her life and the lives of others. Jake never forgot the lesson he learned about respect and the power of his actions. He knew that being a bully was not funny or cool. It was something he wanted to leave behind. The quiet girl and the once bully showed everyone that change is possible. They showed that even in difficult times, people can find the courage to be better and to help others do the same. And so the school became a better place, one where every student could feel safe, respected, and heard. Maya and Jake's story was a reminder that kindness and courage can overcome fear and hate. Days passed, and the classroom slowly began to feel different. Maya could feel the change in the air. Where once there was tension and fear, now there was a quiet respect. It was not loud or obvious, but it was real. The students who had once whispered or stared now looked at Maya differently. They saw a young woman who had stood tall when it mattered most. Maya herself was growing stronger inside. She had faced something hard and scary, but she had not broken. She had learned that courage did not always mean shouting or fighting. Sometimes it meant being calm, steady, and true to yourself. She felt proud of what she had done, even if she still felt shy in front of others. Jake, too, was changing. The confident boy who once made jokes at the expense of others was quieter. He seemed to think more before speaking. He still liked to joke around with his friends, but the jokes were kinder now. Jake realized that making people laugh did not have to come from making fun of them. He wanted to be someone who made others feel good, not bad. One afternoon, during a free period, Jake saw Maya sitting alone in the schoolyard. She was reading a book under the shade of a tree. His first thought was to avoid her, but something inside told him to say hello. He walked over slowly, unsure of what to say. "Hey, Maya," he said quietly. She looked up, surprised but not afraid. She nodded and smiled a little. "Hi, Jake," she replied softly. They sat together in silence for a moment. Feeling for both of them, neither knew what to say next. Finally, Jake spoke again. "I wanted to say I'm sorry. Not just for the joke, but for how I treated you before." Maya looked at him carefully. She could see that he meant it. "Thank you," she said. "That means a lot." They talked a little more about school books and life. It was a small moment, but it showed how much things had changed. Back in the classroom, the teacher noticed the new atmosphere. She felt proud of her students. She decided to start a new project, one that would help the students understand each other better. The project was called Voices of Respect. Each student would share a story about someone who had shown them kindness or courage. Maya was asked to speak about her experience. She felt nervous but agreed. On the day of the project presentation, the classroom was filled with students and teachers. Everyone listened quietly as Maya stood up. Her voice was soft but clear. She told the story of the day Jake joked by choking her. She spoke about the fear she felt, but also about the strength she found inside. Maya talked about how she chose to stay calm and how that changed everything. Her classmates listened carefully. Some had tears in their eyes. Others nodded slowly, understanding what she meant. After Maya finished, other students shared their stories too. They talked about times they had felt lonely, scared, or hurt, and times they had found courage or friendship. Jake listened quietly. When it was his turn, he stood and spoke honestly about his mistakes. He said he was sorry for his words and actions. He told the class he wanted to be better and to help others feel safe. The room was filled with a new energy. Students began to understand each other in a way they never had before. Maya and Jake became part of a group that worked to stop bullying and promote respect in the school. They helped organize meetings, made posters, and spoke to younger students about kindness. The group was not perfect. Sometimes old habits and worries returned, but they kept trying. They knew that change takes time and patience. One day a new student joined the school. Her name was Lila, and she was shy and quiet, like Maya had been. Some students tried to make jokes at her expense, but Maya and Jake stood up for her. They welcomed her and helped her feel safe. Lila soon became friends. With Maya and Jake, the three of them worked together to create a kinder school community. Outside of school, Maya's family was proud of her. They saw how she had grown stronger and kinder. They supported her dreams and encouraged her to keep standing up for what was right. Jake's family noticed changes in him too. He spent more time listening and less time arguing. He worked hard to be a better person. The school also changed in small ways. Teachers paid more attention to bullying. They talked more about respect and kindness in class. Students helped each other more often. The story of Maya and Jake became a lesson for everyone that people can change, and that kindness is stronger than fear or hate. Maya still had quiet moments when she felt nervous or unsure, but she also had moments of joy, friendship, and hope. She knew that being quiet did not mean being invisible. It meant being thoughtful, strong, and real. Jake learned that respect is earned, not taken. He saw how his actions affected others, and chose to be someone who lifts people up, together. Maya and Jake helped make their school a place where every student could feel safe and valued. The road was not always easy. There were challenges and mistakes, but the courage to change and the power of kindness made all the difference. Their story showed that even the smallest voices can be heard, and that every person deserves respect and dignity. And so, life at school went on with more laughter, more friendship, and more hope for a better tomorrow. As the weeks went by, Jake's feelings grew more complicated. At first, he had just tried to act sorry because the school told him to, but slowly he started to understand why what he did was so wrong. The more he thought about Maya and how she felt, the more he wished he had never done what he did. He saw that his actions hurt not only Maya, but also the whole class and the school community. One day after school, Jake found himself sitting alone in the library, thinking about everything that had happened. He felt ashamed of how he had treated Maya and other students before. The loud and confident boy everyone knew was now quiet and thoughtful. He realized that being popular did not mean being mean, and he wanted to change for real. Jake decided to take more steps to make things right. He started by visiting the school counselor every week. The counselor was kind and patient. She helped Jake talk about his feelings and understand why he acted the way he did. Jake learned that sometimes people hurt others because they feel insecure or want to fit in. Talking helped him see that being kind and respectful was much stronger than being a bully. Meanwhile, Maya continued to grow in her own way. She found comfort in her friends and family. She joined clubs at school and began to dream about her future. Maya knew she was more than the fear and hurt from that day in class. She was becoming a young woman with a voice that could inspire others. At school, Maya and Jake sometimes crossed paths. They nodded or said hello politely. The awkwardness from before was fading. They were no longer enemies, but not yet close friends. Both knew it would take time to build trust. One day, the school announced a special assembly about bullying and respect. Maya was asked to help organize it with Jake and other students from the Voices of Respect group. They worked together, planning speeches, skits, and activities to teach kindness and understanding. On the day of the assembly, the whole school gathered in the gym. Maya spoke first. Her voice was steady and clear as she shared her story and the lessons she learned. She told the students that everyone deserves respect and that silence can sometimes hide pain. Jake followed, sharing his own story of mistakes and growth. He admitted how wrong he had been and said he was grateful for the chance to change. His honesty surprised many students. Some whispered, "I didn't expect that from him." After the speeches, students performed short plays showing how bullying hurts people and how friends can help. The assembly ended with a promise from everyone to stand against bullying and be kind to one another. The assembly was a turning point. It brought the school community closer together. More students joined the group, eager to make their school a better place. Teachers noticed the change too and started more programs about respect and kindness. Despite the progress, not everything was easy. Some students still made jokes or ignored others. Sometimes Maya felt lonely or scared again. But this time, she knew she was not alone. She had friends, teachers, and even Jake, who wanted to help. Jake also faced challenges. Old friends sometimes teased him for changing. It was hard to leave behind his old ways, but Jake wanted to be proud of who he was becoming. He worked hard to be respectful and kind, even when it was difficult. One afternoon, Jake saw a younger student being teased in the hallway. Without hesitation, Jake stepped in and told the bullies to stop. The younger student looked up at Jake with surprise and gratitude. Jake felt a warm feeling inside, the feeling that comes from doing the right thing. Maya and Jake began to talk more. They shared stories about their lives, their families, and their dreams. They found that they had more in common than they thought. Their friendship grew slowly but surely. Together, they started a project called Kindness Week at school. For one whole week, students and teachers planned activities to celebrate respect, friendship, and caring. They painted murals, wrote letters to each other, and helped clean the school grounds. Kindness Week was a big success. It made the school feel like a community where everyone mattered. Maya and Jake felt proud of what they had helped create. At home, Maya's parents noticed how confident she had become. They told her they were proud of her courage and kindness. Maya smiled, knowing that her family's support had been a strong part of her journey. Jake's parents saw changes too. They were happy to see him choosing kindness over anger. Jake felt closer to his family and himself. The story of Maya and Jake became a symbol of hope for the whole neighborhood. It showed that even after mistakes and hurt, people could grow and heal. One day, a reporter came to the school to hear about the changes. Maya and Jake were asked to share their story on local television. They spoke honestly about the hard times and the lessons they learned. Their story inspired many people. Letters and messages came from other schools and communities, saying how Maya and Jake's courage gave them hope to change their own schools. Maya and Jake knew their work was not done. They wanted to keep helping others find strength and kindness. They remembered the day Jake joked, by choking Maya. That moment had started a journey of pain, courage, change, and hope. Maya's quiet strength and Jake's honest heart showed that even the hardest moments could lead to something better. Their story was not just about a classroom, it was about life, about how people make mistakes, learn from them, and find a better way. And that better way was kindness, respect, and understanding. Time passed, and the story of Maya and Jake became more than just a moment in a classroom. became a story that many people talked about in the school, the neighborhood, and even beyond. The change that started with a quiet girl and a bully had grown into something much bigger, a message about hope, forgiveness, and the power to change. Maya continued to shine in her own quiet way. She worked hard in school and dreamed of a future where she could help others. Her experience had taught her that even when things are hard, standing up with courage can make a difference. She joined clubs, helped organize events, and became a voice for kindness. But she never forgot how scary it had been to face that moment with Jake. Jake also kept growing. He knew his past mistakes would not disappear overnight, but he was determined to be better every day. The apology he had given to Maya was only the start. He worked on himself through school programs, counseling, and listening to others. Slowly, he earned back some of the trust he had lost. Jake understood that true respect is something earned by actions, not words. Together, Maya and Jake made a strong team. They helped lead their school in creating a safe and welcoming place for all students. They encouraged others to speak out against bullying and to practice kindness in everyday life. Their story was a reminder that no one is perfect, but everyone can choose to be better. One day, the school invited parents and community members to a special event. The gym was decorated with posters and photos showing the journey of kindness that had begun months ago. Maya and Jake stood on the stage, sharing their story with a large audience. People listened carefully as they spoke about the importance of respect and understanding. After the event, many people came forward to thank them. Parents said they were proud of their children's courage. Teachers said the school was a better place because of the changes. Community leaders talked about how the story could inspire others beyond the school walls. Maya felt a deep happiness, knew that her courage to stand strong had helped others find their voices. She thought about all the students who still might feel scared or alone, and she hoped her story would give them hope. Jake, too, felt grateful. He had learned that real strength is in kindness and respect. He was thankful for the chance to change and for the support he had received. He wanted to keep growing and helping others, knowing that the past did not have to define the future. The school continued to build on the work Maya and Jake had started. The teachers added lessons about empathy and friendship. Students formed groups to support each other. Bullying became less common, and kindness became a way of life. Maya and Jake sometimes thought about that day in class. The day Jake had joked by choking Maya. It was a hard memory, but it was also the beginning of their journey. It reminded them that even the darkest moments can lead to light when people choose courage and change. Their story became part of the school's history. New students learned about it during orientation. It was a lesson about respect, forgiveness, and the power each person has to make a difference. Maya dreamed of becoming a counselor or a teacher one day, someone who could help students find their strength like she had. Jake thought about working with youth, teaching them about kindness and the importance of choices. Both knew that the journey was ongoing. Life would bring new challenges, but they were ready. They had learned the importance of standing up, speaking out, and believing in the good in people. Their friendship was a symbol of change. From fear and hurt, they had built trust and respect. They showed that people can grow and heal, even after mistakes. Maya and Jake's story was more than just about a bully and a quiet girl. It was about the courage to face fear, the power of forgiveness, and the hope for a better tomorrow. And in that hope, the school, the students, and the community found a new strength, a strength that would guide them for years to come.